You know, a lot of people know about the towers and they see it, right? When they drive into Avalon, they drive into their neighborhoods, it's there. And you see the smoke coming out. And a lot of people are told, and there's not untruth to that, that it is steam, but it's not purified drinking water steam. I was so shocked when I learned about it. Like, there's a coal power plant in my backyard. It's toxic, and that's what that means for my family. That shook our world. Like, that just changed everything for us. My name is Piper Vargas. I'm married and have 2 kids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And we are local residents in Orange County, Florida, on the east side of Orlando. So there's two parts of living next to a coal power plant that I learned. So at first, you can see the towers and the smoke coming out, and there is, of course, some things in that are not good for the environment or your health. But then once you burn the coal, where does the waste go? We have coal ash and all of the waste from burning the coal, and that is stored on property at Stanton. That's actually the most dangerous part for children and the health, is that fly ash. There is a 10-mile radius that they consider to be like a danger zone, that, you know, a windstorm could blow that fly ash into your yard or onto your roof or into your grass. And there's some data that came out at one time. There's a cluster of cancer cases in that zip code, in the 32828 zip code. I met with an aunt of one of the children and a mother of a child that has passed from that rare form of cancer. Just meeting with those families that have lost young children was really hard. It's hard to learn something like that and then just go back to ignoring it and having my kids play out here in the backyard and not start wondering, like, well, is there traces of coal ash in my backyard? You know, is this air healthy for my young kids to be breathing in? I personally I started having like panic attacks, and I was having like anxiety and just not physically feeling well because of thinking about this all the time and worrying about it all the time.
Our volunteers are very upset that when they talk to their neighbors and their families that live in these same areas as them, a lot of people don't know still. That's one of the big issues that the community has with OUC, is their lack of transparency.
It shocked me when every mom that I met in a group, or friends that I had, you know, for years now, that all live within that danger zone, and they all have little kids and are pregnant, which are the most vulnerable. And they don't know anything about the ash. We got a report explaining what is coal ash. It was just really hard for us to read those, because in one sentence, in one paragraph, it says could be harmful to the environment and health. And then a few paragraphs later, it says that coal ash could be used in your garden. And that's what we're hearing, that, you know, it's not something to be concerned about. We shouldn't be concerned because it's not bad for your health. It's not bad for the community.
Avalon, just because it's so close in proximity, the Stanton Energy Center, it doesn't mean it's the only community that's affected. The coal ash pollution from OUC is one of the biggest problems for our community as far as environmental justice here in Orlando. The EPA has actually acknowledged that coal plants and power plants that pollute neighborhoods are predominantly located in low-income brown and black neighborhoods. This isn't an accident. This is definitely a justice issue when you look at how many people around this power plant are brown and black, low income, and are unaware of what's going on. And when they do voice their opinions, they're not being listened to when they're the ones that are being directly affected by the things that are there.
There are things that they could be doing. There are barriers they can put up, there are covers, there are different measures that they could do. Other states have regulations that protect their communities that our state doesn't have. And so because it's not mandated federally, it's not mandated by the state, we don't have covers over the coal ash piles. That's what we were asking from our mayor and from the city of Orlando, to put those up, to, at minimum, to secure the coal ash.
OUC's efforts to contain the coal ash pollution obviously fall short of what the community needs, and they proudly say that there has been no complaints about it, but they actually don't have a proper method of filing complaints.
If you go on OUC's website, it's very we're clean energy and we're doing all these great things, and the city of Orlando as well has done great things for sustainability and the environment. They've made great progress. But then we still have this coal power plant in our backyard. And so for them not to have that highest standard of keeping the health of the community in place, even if it's not federally or state regulated, that's what we were asking from our mayor and from the city of Orlando to do better. And just because our state doesn't have that, do better and protect the community.
Today, Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer shared how the City Beautiful is future ready.
We want it to be, and I think we are, the most sustainable city in the Southeast United States. We own the utility, and we are really working on increasing our solar.
So the City Beautiful, that's getting smarter, is also a compassionate city. One of its key priorities is to ensure that all of the needs of all of its citizens are met. This means increased mobility options and clean, affordable energy.
In 2025 and 2027, Stanton Units 1 and 2 will be converted to burn natural gas. And they will continue doing that until 2040.
Fracking in natural gas, it can affect women, particularly in terms of fertility. It can affect children in utero, but even after birth. It affects not just this generation, but future generations as well.
They could move a lot faster, I believe. Utilities in places like New Mexico, northern Indiana, right outside Chicago, are closing coal plants and going directly to renewables.
This is urgent now. We have the technology, we have the means, we have the industries and the companies that can do it. So really the only thing stopping it at this point is the political will.
The community's upset. They approved the plan after numerous organizations, lawyers, activist groups, and community members told them that this was not the right way to go, especially for the community that's already being affected by the coal ash. Was OUC ever planning on listening to the community when they said that this is not the way they wanted them to go, just continuing to burn fossil fuel with a different name? They're upset about the actual content of the EIRP and how little it does for low-income communities and how much it takes away from them too.
I've done enough work around energy efficiency to know that it's a low-cost resource that can not only save ratepayers money, but it prevents energy from being wasted, which means it can reduce CO2 emissions. The EIRP has a goal of 1% savings in 10 years, which is less than 0.1% a year. That's not much.
They don't have actual help for their low-income communities that they serve. They say, we don't know why the community's so mad. We're doing what we can to help you guys, when really they're helping less than 1% of eligible low-income families. So how many people are you actually helping if 33% of your customer base is low-income? It just shows that OUC isn't really here to be the reliable one, like they say.
Hola! My name is Sharona Barnes, and I'm a community leader of District 6. As an OUC customer, my experience has not been a great one. I shouldn't be worried about, somebody's electricity or having problems or issues with that, but I say I hadn't gotten a bill in probably 6 years that was under $250. One of my highest bills from OUC was like $490 something, and that was in 1 month. And if you ask anybody around here, their bill is high. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It may work for their businesses, or it may work for corporations, but it's not working for residents.
Those in fence-line communities in Florida do not have access to reliable, affordable, clean energy for air conditioning or for anything else. Then that becomes a problem for their health. Climate change will affect those communities even more. They have no recourse to mitigate the effects of it, and they're the ones that suffer the more serious consequences.
I had gotten behind and I was seeking for help. I need help to pay my bills. OUC saying, we're gonna reach out to the people. We're not gonna, just shut them off, leave them in the dark. And it wasn't even 6 months now. My lights have been cut off for a total of 8 times. It left me with worrying and not understanding. What do I do next? I have children. I get one income a month.
It should not be hard to imagine that somebody whose electricity, for example, has been shut off will face anxiety and depression. And as we know from the medical literature, it directly affects your physical health.
Every day, I wake up to see if my lights are cut off. It's absurd to have people still worrying about if my light's gonna be on for my kids to get up and get on a laptop in the morning to go to school. Is my lights gonna be on so my kids can have the food chilled enough so I can get it cooked and they can eat? This is why I'm here today, to face OUC, not just for myself, but for the community, because there are many people in this community and other communities are going through the same struggle and don't have to, shouldn't have to.
A profit-driven model is always going to be born on the backs of someone. And that someone is usually the communities that are the most vulnerable, the most targeted for oppression. And anytime you have a model that is driven by profit, you can't actually plan or think rationally about actual needs of humans, of people, of the environment. You are driven to make a certain amount of profit, and that's what everything is organized around. So you're jerked around by that goal.
We see how OUC disregards brown and black lives by where they place these coal ash dumps, where they place their Stanton Energy Center. It's in a place where the neighboring communities are brown and black, and then you continue to see this lack of care for brown and black lives when you look at the building practices that OUC has. You know, they resumed their disconnections last July, months into a pandemic that is still going on today. And then on top of that, they don't have actual help for their low-income communities that they serve.
Those in fence-line communities in Florida do face urgent need for changes to how energy is produced and delivered because, number one, the heat from Florida, especially in central Florida. Number two, those people that are living downstream air from where that energy is being generated will be breathing in those pollutants, which can affect people's health now and maybe for a generation to come after that.
I do wish that the community was more involved, more aware, and understood what it means for them. For me, we started detoxing the entire house. Like, we're changing our chemicals and our foods, and we're trying to do everything to make it better, but I can't control what's happening there. My ultimate dream for my kids is that they grow up in a safe and happy home, that they're emotionally and physically and spiritually happy and fulfilled, and that they have a beautiful world to grow up in.
You as an energy company, you have all the power to release, but we should have say-so because we need that power in order to live. If there was cap on prices of electricity or housing going up and up and up and up and always going up till somebody can't afford it, that would be a perfect future. People won't have to worry about water. People won't have to worry about lights. A perfect future. To me.